Hey guys, Mr. Gray 3IS here, and I'm back with another video. This video is an install video, one of my favorite types of videos, and we are going to be installing sequential mirror turn signals. Now, these ones are from Ray. I'll put his Instagram right here. Thank you, Ray, for sending me these and sponsoring today's video. I'll also leave his website in the description. For anything on his website, including these turn signals, you can use code GRAY3IS at checkout to save you a little money. I know this seems like there's a lot of wires here, but they all have a purpose, and I'll explain it in just a little bit. These turn signals are pretty cool. They can be sequential or static. They have this rear turn signal diode right here, so you can have light coming out the back so people next to you or behind you can see your mirror turn signals, which I think is pretty cool. And they also have an additional puddle light. This is awesome because it's going to add to your existing puddle light that's right there, and it's going to shine right down on the floor, and it'll provide so much more light than just that one right there. And that alone I'm pretty excited for. And another cool feature about these is they have a daytime running light to them. So while this turn signal isn't functioning as a signal, it is a daytime running light. All these stay a static white color while driving. In my opinion, it is pretty cool, and I'm pretty excited to install these. So let's get into the garage and get right to it. Okay, I have her in the garage, and I'm just gonna do a quick little summary of this install so you can kind of get a gist of what's gonna happen. So we're gonna remove these turn signals, which I'll show you how to do in a second. Pop open this door, remove this door card, disassemble the mirror slightly, run a couple wires, put it back together, and we're done. Might sound a little intimidating, but it's really not. It's quite simple. And let me give you a quick explanation of what each wire does. Okay, so as you guys saw before, we got a few wires coming out the back here, but they're really quite simple to understand. So this red and black one right here is going to connect to your OEM harness for your original mirror lights. And I'll explain how to do that in just a sec. It uses the OEM connector right here. And we're going to plug it right into this, and it will go right into your original mirror light connector. So that will immediately power on your signals, and you will have a sequential signal right there. Boom. If that's where you want to stop, go for it. But I'm going to show you how to do everything. So this green wire right here is what's going to give you the option of a static blink or a sequential blink. So if you have these two apart, which you would ideally just electrical tape them individually and have them not touching each other, then they will cause this to sequential blink. If you have them touching like this and you would tape them together, then you will have a solid static blink, and that's kind of like your OEM signal. And I completely understand if you want to do that. It's actually kind of cool because it's like an OEM signal, but except you have additional puddle lights, an extra signal back here, and you can have that daytime running light, which is a plausible and totally okay solution. But I'm going to have mine apart and have them sequential because I like that. This blue wire right here is what's going to tap into your window switches that I'll show you how to do. You're going to pass it into your door card, and that's going to tap into your window switch. And that's what's going to give you a dancing animation, which I forgot to mention actually. These do a dancing startup animation when you start your car, and that's what this will give you. And this will also give you that static white light, the daytime running light, when you plug this in. And last, but definitely not least, this black and white wire is what's going to plug into your original puddle light that's in your mirror. And so you'll have your original puddle light, and then those also give this new puddle light power. Boom, just like that, easy. All right, before we start, for this install, you're gonna need a Phillips screwdriver, a ratchet with maybe an extension with a 10mm socket, wire strippers, and you can use an X-Acto knife and kind of splice the wires to connect them, but I'm gonna try and use some T-taps, which pretty much do the same thing, but you're splicing a wire with a connector. Okay, let's start with taking off the mirror. So what you're gonna do to start is fold your mirror out like this. We're going to push this at a full angle so you can get your hand right behind here, and you're gonna pry from this bottom corner, and there's gonna be some clips that pop out. Get your hand all the way behind there so you don't break the mirror. Boom. And there should be one more, feels like. Okay, just like that. And these are the clips you're popping out. So you can let this mirror just dangle a little bit if you'd like. And the next step is to use a Phillips screwdriver to undo these 5 screws. And they don't have any sort of size orientation. They are all the same. So it's all right if you kind of lose track of which one went where. They'll all go into these same holes. All right, I'm taking the last screw out now. I just set a towel here because I'm probably gonna need to use it to set some stuff on. But after you have this last screw out, you can go ahead and turn your mirror kind of back around. And what's going to happen is your mirror cap is going to come loose. And be careful because your turn signal is gonna come with it. Yeah, and in my case, mine fell out. All right, just like that. And here's the mirror cap. This bottom piece can separate from this mirror cap top piece, so just be careful. Try and keep it there so you don't have to get it all back together. All right, so from here, we are going to unplug my mirror turn signal. As you can see, it is the original connector. And these turn signals that I have are actually sequential ones from TanzaWorks. They've been great. I've had zero issues with them. And keep in mind, for TanzaWorks, you can use code GRAY3IS to save 10% off anything. That includes this beautiful carbon fiber. While these are great, they're a little plain compared to those other ones that Ray sent me, so I 100% want to go with Ray's. And these I'll set aside and admire. All right, and like I said before, the power to these are plug and play. So what you're going to do is take this original connector and take the one that comes with the kit that has this little notch at the top, and you can put the notch at the top with the top of this clip like so, and push, boom, it's connected. And next we're going to take the mirror turn signal and grab the positive and negative wires right here. Now it's pretty easy because as you can see there's a red and black, positive and negative. Negative is always black, and there's a red and black on these. So you're going to hook them up and see how the orientation doesn't match. Just flip it around. Boom. Black matches with black, red matches with red. We're going to plug them right in. And this part is kind of hard to see, but that little spur sticking out the top of this plug, make sure you put that spur towards the top of this notch right there. You can aim it like this. Spur towards the top of this notch. And when you push it, it should click all the way in, like so. Just a little side note, I'm working on the passenger side right now, and pretty much coming out of this turn signal, you want the red wire to go to the pink wire and the black wire to go to the orange wire. So for that to happen, on this driver's side, you're gonna have to swap the connector around. So pretty much you're gonna plug red into black and black into red. So these middle colors don't matter. Just pretend that they're the same color as what you're plugging into. So red's gonna go to pink and black's gonna go to orange. So just a little side note, keep that in mind. Red to pink, black to orange. And then from here, we can unlock it. And as you can tell, they have power. So the rest is just plugging in all the features. Now, as you might have noticed, these are flashing static. And that is because I noticed these two green wires are touching, or the green and black. So this is a good example to show if we separate them like so, and then I unlock. Boom. Just like that. And as you can see, that back one, boom. Little shine just like that. I love that. That little rear facing one. So cool to me. Alrighty, let's move on to the next step. So next we're going to plug these positive and negative black and white wires into the positive and negative puddle light wires right here. Now as you can see, there's two yellow wires. One has a black stripe and one does not have a black stripe. So the one with the black stripe is going to be negative, and the one without a black stripe is going to be positive. So you can T-tap into those like I'm going to do, or you can cut some away with a razor and then snip these and wrap it around and tape it. But I'm going to T-tap and see how that works. And now is a great time to change out your puddle lights for some LED ones if you haven't already. While they're out like this, get some LED ones. It's life-changing. So if you're unfamiliar with the T-tap, it's pretty simple. There's two parts to it. There's this little tap, which you're going to clamp onto the wire you're wanting to tap into. Then there's this male connector, which you're going to crimp the wire you want to attach to it, to this. And then once this is sandwiched on the new wire, you're going to pretty much just, boom, plug it in like that. And it's a pretty secure way of attaching one wire to another wire. Okay, after tapping the two wires together, as you can see, this is how the T-tap looks. It's a little clamp, plugs right in. Fairly simple, same as splicing a wire and connecting it. So now when I unlock it and this puddle light turns on, both turn on, and it's pretty bright. So that'll be nice to shine right on the ground with that one. When I lock it, it turns right off. Perfect. On to the next step. My quick next step is just going to be using electrical tape to wrap each one of these green and black wires individually so they don't touch, and I can have this as a sequential. If you want this to be static, then just tape them together. All right, so this next step is going to involve us opening the door to take this door card off. All right, to remove this door panel, I'm gonna take a plastic pry tool and get behind this cover right here. Pop it out. And this cover in the door handle. And pop it out as well, like this. And after those two covers are out, there's going to be two Phillips in there, as you can see. One in there and one right in this cover. Oh yeah, and you also have to remove this window switch cover, which you just get under here, pry up, pops right out like this, and then you just unplug it. And speaking of unplug, I swear, one last thing that you have to unplug is this door puddle light, which is pretty easy. You just get a little pry tool behind it, pull it out, and then just like your puddle light, unplug it. Just like that. After this, your door panel is ready to come out. One thing you want to keep in mind is this connector for your window switch is what you're going to want to tap into with that blue wire. You're going to use this really thick green wire on here. So just keep an eye on that. I mean, it shouldn't get completely lost. So next step to take this panel off is you're going to pull from the bottom. So you're going to pull from the bottom and push the doorway. And there's a bunch of clips that run all along it here, and they're all going to pop out. And then from there, we just lift it up to unhook it from here, and it's ready to come out. Okay, it sounds frightening, but it's really not that bad. And then should be pretty much out. There sounds like there's, yeah, one right there, and you can feel if there's any more clips, feels like there's one right here. Boom. And then we're gonna lift the door card up, shimmy her up, and then, oh, one fell out, we can put that back in. Once you lift it up and out, there are two things still connecting it, and they don't have too much slack to them. So don't drop it like that, and set it on something. I'm going to use these two little baskets and set them on something so that these don't have too much slack to them. And we're ready to go from here. Okay, so next step is removing the mirror. And there are three 10mm bolts, as you can see right here. And to get to them, you do have to remove these little covers, and you should be able to get extension right in there. Pretty much what we're gonna do is remove the mirror, pass a wire through here, connect it to this guy right here, and boom, ready to go. The install's pretty much done after that. Okay, so I'm going to use my 10mm with an extension to start loosening them. And little tip, put your fingers in here to help feed the nut out once you unscrew it all the way, because it can fall down in your door card, and that's annoying. You don't want that to happen. So once it's almost out, I'm gonna take this extension off and just kind of unscrew them by hand. I'm probably just gonna loosen them all by ratchet and then fully unscrew them all by hand. And little side note, I have a new mic. It's a really nice mic, so I'm hoping you'll up my video qualities and help with sound quality. I tried a new mic last video, wasn't the best. This one is one of the best you can get, so I'm hoping it will do the job. Anyways, I'm going to take these out completely. There's one, and the rest are the same. Okay, now that all the bolts are out, this mirror should be completely loose. Okay, so there is a pretty loud sounding clip that holds this mirror in. It's a little brown clip. So don't be afraid to yank on it decently hard to pull the mirror out. But like I said, probably gonna wanna put this microfiber under here so the mirror isn't just hanging on your paint. It has a little bit of slack, so I'm gonna let it kind of come out. Okay, that's about as far as it comes because it is attached by this gray wire right here. Okay, and then from here, we're going to poke this blue wire through this mirror stock to come out where this gray wire is. So you can use a clothes hanger or a stick or anything you can use to kind of feed this blue wire all the way through this to come out where this wire is coming out. From here to there. Now, I just went ahead and slid this front cover through that mirror because it was coming off. It's pretty easy to put back on, pretty easy to take off. But let me give you a little visual of actually where you're poking the wire through. So this little stock right here, it actually isn't plastic, it's rubber. So this little grommet is where the wire is going to come through. So it might actually help to even cut a little slit that you're aiming for, or when you poke this wire through, you can see where it's poking, and then you cut a little slit there, but so you don't have to poke all the way through this grommet and risk kind of ripping it out of here. But that's where you're poking through ultimately. Okay, so I cut a slit here, pushed a wire through, and I'm going to tape the end of my blue wire to this and pull it all the way through, and then tape that closed pretty much. As you can see, I have the blue wire pulled all the way through, and then from here I'm going to feed it down where this gray wire goes, and I'll show you on the other side. Now, like I said a second ago, you do need to run the blue wire and follow the gray wire that was just on your mirror right there, and it will come out here. Because if you run it through here, it'll hit the window when it comes up, and you don't want that to happen. So you run it out through here. I did need to extend it. I put a black wire extending it because it was a little short, and pretty much you're going to, I'll pull more of it through, but you're going to connect to the thickest green wire here. So see, there's 3, but this really thick one right here, that's the one you're going to splice into. I'm going to T-tap into this one like I did to get power from my Puddle lights. All right, and after I have it spliced to this green wire, I'm going to go ahead and hold this door close button so the car thinks it's closed. After I lock the car, I'm going to unlock it. Oop, animation, boom, and then running light right there. And that's what it looks like. And the puddle light below, it's a little blinding, don't mind that, but that is the running light. Boom, and then it turns off. And after this, you put everything back how we took it apart. All right, we are finished, and it looks pretty dang good. Dang, I really like the startup animation. If you know me, I like my startup animations. The puddle light is super cool, very bright turn signals. The daytime running light is gonna be super cool. Nice white light coming out the side of the car. I love it, I love it, I love it. Thank you again, Ray, for sending these to me. Once again, link in the description if you wanna pick up a set. Not too hard to install, a little time consuming. The next side will definitely be about a quarter of the time to install. When you're doing things that are 2 sides, the first side is always the lengthiest and the hardest. 1 more side to go, same thing as this side. The only difference is that little harness that you tap into that green wire with. There'll be a little bit more wires on that side. Same green wire though. Same process. That's how you install these. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I have links for all of my parts in the description, including these turn signals. I love install videos. I love making install videos. I just love everything about it. I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's gray_3is. I'm always on there. I respond to DMs super quickly. So if you have any questions or you just want to conversate or you just want to say what's up, please feel free to hit me up on there. Other than that, this has been Mr. Gray3is, and I'll see you in the next one.
Walking over